how did you get to where you are today?
I completed my hotel management back in India and looking for a job, and then realized that okay, after having a 3 4 years of degree, you have to restart your life as from the crew member or steward or waiter in a hotel. Then I realized that okay, I wanted to start my own business. Um, so I went to the McDonald office in India, and I said, I'm looking for, I would like to own a franchise. I want a franchise. So the gentleman was confused. He took me into the office and he gave me a coffee and he was talking to me as like, am I looking for a job? Because a young kid, like
How old were you then?
franchising. I was 21, I guess, that
Oh,
time.
super
So
young. Yeah.
very young, and they were like, okay, this is a job application you can fill out, we'll get you the job and all of that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not here for the job. I would like to own a franchise. So then they realized that okay, this guy is serious, so they took me to the franchise director office. They gave me the detail. When I saw the investment, and I
Mm,
was like, god, to flip a burger, do you need so much of investment? And that stayed in my brain, and I was like, why can't we do something which is low investment?
mm,
People like, passionate like me wants to start a business, but they cannot.
mm,
We don't have that kind of funding. So my rest of the career started. I got a job in Pizza Hut Singapore, and keep traveling around from Singapore to Brunei, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Hong Kong, went to
that's
Australia,
crazy.
yeah, went to Dubai, Middle East, then went to India for 6 months, and then UK and Europe. So that travel was happening, and I was working, and constantly it was there in my mind that okay, I have to start my own business. uh, when I was in England, we I started a small cafe, and I was thinking that okay, I will make it big because the dream was always big. I want to
Mm,
do something very successful. Uh, we took the place, we started a cafe, and I was so excited. I was telling my wife that don't worry about it. I left the job, and I was like, I'm gonna earn money from this, and I'm passionate. First month we were like kind of very little bit lost, but okay, so I thought it's the first month, let me try.
mm,
Go to second and third. When it hit third month and I don't see profit margins, then I was like, gosh, what is wrong?
mm,
Right? So then my wife, come on, we have to run the home. So you need to do something, or either you stop and go back to work. I was like,
mm.
I'm not gonna go back to work. I will keep it running. So I took a job, part-time job in casino in
Whoa, a
Leeds.
casino.
Yeah.
Okay. Why
So
a casino?
because the casino is 24 hours. I was running my business from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and
Right.
nothing else I can do. And I was like, okay, casino which is open 24 hours. So that gave me opportunity. And I took the
Mm-hmm.
basic job. So we don't have to think or any responsibility. I used to come home, take ready, get ready and go back to casino by 10 o'clock in the night till 3 in the morning. I used to work in casino, come back home, sleep for a couple of hours, go back to cafe. So I did it for a year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a year. And
What were you doing in the casino again back then?
I was working behind the bar, serving
Mm-hmm.
coffee,
Got
interacting
it.
with the
Got it.
guest. Very basic crew
Very
member
basic.
job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so, is there anything? And of course, we will build
Mhm.
the story. But were there any things that you learned specifically from the casino world? Did it give you something other than obviously having, some income coming in? But
Yeah.
anything else that you learned in the casino world?
Oh yeah, I learned that okay, you're never gonna win. That was the story. I used to interact people sitting in the corner and crying that I lost money, and I used to feel really bad that okay, how he or she gonna pay the rent, what gonna happen rest of the life, month when he get the salary, and
Mm,
but I can see that person is back again next month, and playing. And I was like, okay, come on, you didn't learn the lesson. Why are you coming back? Right? And I used to be like, come on, stop playing. You're not gonna win. I used to see people walk in with cash, with money, with those coins and everything. And they will walk in and said, "Hey, can you get me a coffee, get me a beer?" And by 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, they will be like, "I don't have money. Can you get me one coffee, please?" And I'm like, "Come on!" In couple of hours, how life changed,
Rags to
right?
riches, no, riches to rags.
Yeah. So that was
Oh,
a great learning, and I realized that you have no choice than work hard. Hard
mm,
work is gonna pay you. The rest, everything else, there's no shortcut in life. That was
mm,
the 100% we were
mm.
sure.
So get rich schemes is something that you
Yeah, yeah, no,
got to know.
right. There's no scheme. You
There's
have
no
to
way.
work hard. Yeah,
Well, I think that's you were placed, somehow in this situation, but you're right, actually. It taught you something. It taught you a good lesson, but I think you anyway signed up to be hardworking. The
that's
fact
right.
that you left corporate. I also wanted to ask you, were you
Mhm.
traveling just to travel, or you were like hopping from country to country to make a living there? What was
No, but the idea behind I wanted to travel around the world. That was the
mm,
whole idea. But I don't
mhm,
want to travel as a tourist.
right?
Because as a tourist, you walk into the city and you see the beauty of the city, one or two locations, stay in a good hotel, and you are back with some
Mm-hmm.
picture. Which for me, that I wanted to stay, enjoy their food, their lifestyle, mingle with the local people, you know, go to the local parties. So that was the whole idea behind. So you learn about the country, you learn
Mm,
about the place, you learn about the people, you build a friendship.
right.
Otherwise, you have no idea about, like, if you go to Singapore, you're gonna go to the airport, couple of location, take a picture, and you're back. Oh, Singapore is. No, that's not the Singapore. You
Mm.
have to stay, see their lifestyle, what is happening day to day in, day out, right? What they eat. You have to eat their
Wow.
foods.
Okay, genuinely impressed. Not because this is a podcast going on here, but genuinely impressed because I think a very few people step out of their
Mm.
comfort zone. And I moved to another country for some time. I remember I left France and I went to live in Spain. I
Mm-hmm.
literally um, s- compressed all my stuff into two bags and
Mm-hmm.
I left for Spain. And that was my first experience, learning, understanding new language, the culture. And from that experience, I know how hard it is to move from one country to another. Uh, what do you have?
No, I mean, I was enjoying because it was, I see everywhere people welcome you, right?
Mm.
They welcome you, even sign language. I don't have to learn their local language or they have to learn my language. They are
Uh-huh.
language of humanity. They will understand, they will help you. I
Mm.
mean, it's just the basics. I never felt, oh, I need to learn when I was in Brunei, oh, I need to learn Malay. No, they try to interact with you in English or the broken language. People enjoy telling their culture, their story, their customs.
100%.
I mean, if you go to their wedding, they will tell you step by step what is happening and why it's happening, and that
Yeah.
was interaction, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's always embracing their own culture, and that's they want to learn about your culture. Otherwise, as a tourist, you walk in, they don't know you, you don't know them, you have a perception. When
Mm.
you interact, then they will understand, okay, you are also a good human being, right? As a human, and they will welcome you, and
I love your thought process.
you'll like that. You need to be a part of the culture. You cannot be isolated yourself, or
Mm-hmm.
you have to meet everybody. You should be open mind. You cannot be a restricted, I can't do this, I can't eat this, I can't. Always you go and somebody offer you something, why not? It's eatable food, and you try, and that's where the lot of different cuisine I start enjoying and learning and the
Ah.
process. And then I used to get into, because I'm the foodie. So for
Mm-hmm.
me, they're like, okay, food, and food is the one common subject to talk, that okay, their barbecue is different way of doing it. You go to Indonesia, in the jungle, they put everything in the bamboo stick and put it in the fryer. It's amazing to see how they are different than process or cooking. there's not just one process where you take a frying pan and cook it, and that's it. So the world is beautiful. Before you die, you need to see all of these to have,
That's the
you know,
dream. That is the
meaningful
dream.
life.
That is the dream. And I think entrepreneurship enables you to do that, to be
That's
wherever
right.
you are and not be stuck to a particular geography.
100%. And plus, you need to be that small kid who is curious about everything,
Yeah.
right? You
Yes.
cannot be like, the small. If you look at a small kid, they're going to touch everything. They want to see everything.
Yeah.
That's what you need, right?
Mm,
To
mm.
become a business owner. Otherwise, you cannot. Otherwise, you go 9 to 5 work and life is done. You pay the bill and you are happy.
I think you're very right that as a business owner, you need to be curious, you need to be more explorative. I
Yeah.
believe. So when you were traveling, you
Mm.
had this idea in your mind that you want to start your business, and
Yeah.
specifically what kind of business that
Mm.
was in your mind. So you were
Yeah.
traveling to these different countries, learning how
Mhm.
the food and how it's made. Did you back then think of a couple of strategies that maybe this is something I should do in my cafe or in my business?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because I started working, from Pizza Hut where I used to sweep and mop, crew member. That
Hmm.
was my basic job. So I've seen what is happening and how we can help people. So idea was that if you can in that earliest stage give them some kind of guideline, educations or help, which I never got it. So
Hmm.
now, if I have an opportunity or my team member who is working with me throughout my career, I help them to either somebody is struggling to admission their kid into the school, they
Hmm.
need some kind of help from us, I will help.
Right. Right.
Buying home, so if you need a funding or loan or finding real estate connection, I always work is your normal day to day. That's why you are at the workplace.
Right.
You build a relation when you go out of the comfort zone and help somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we always think of emotional bank balance, right? And
Right.
you want to employ for a longer term to stay with you and work with you, then you have to do it.
Right.
Otherwise, they will walk in and walk out. If somebody give a $2 more, they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go. If they are
Mm-hmm.
just for the money and you are just for the employee, you need to have that kind of relationship, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very important. Like today, I still, from my first job till now, all my crew members are connected. They constantly we meet, whenever in that country, or they send me a message, or if they get married they send me a picture, or they have a baby, they send me a picture, and or they talk about it. Like yesterday I was talking to one of my manager. He's based in Dubai, and he has started his business, and he was like so passionate that he sent me those old picture where I was working as a regional manager and he was a restaurant manager, and now he is a business owner. And it's a great. I mean, happy to help him, happy to answer his query, concern, and always I had those kind of people in my life
Mm.
who, as a mentor, got
Time to
stuck,
give
pick
back.
up the
Yeah.
phone and call. I
Mm-hmm.
have a Guruji which in Brunei, first time when I was, turning off the computer, I never, so I have to, how to sit down, I had no idea. 11 o'clock in the night, I pick up phone and call Guruji how to sit down. And he was like, okay, go to start, go up, sit down. That is stage. So I was lucky that I had a lot of good people in my life. And it's always, we believe in karma. You
Mm.
do good, good will come back to you. That's a rule.
Karma is for real.
It's for real.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I am huge on energy dynamics,
Yeah.
understanding, how energy works. And it's very true that what you emit is what
Mhm.
you get.
100%.
You have to emit good energy, help others,
Mm.
and it will come to you without even, I mean, again, not bringing it for the sake of bringing it, but this is actually taught in the Gita,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
just do what you can and
Yes,
do not think about what you will get in return, because
that's
then
right.
the
Yeah,
purpose is defeated.
that's right. 100%. 100%. I have seen happening. I've seen happening. I've seen human brain is so powerful that whatever you think you can imagine, you can achieve.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
important that you constantly you imagine, achieve, and keep working towards that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the result is there.
We are capable of doing many things. It's
Many
just that
things.
we don't realize.
Mm.
I, uh, Joe D'Souza, he
Hmm.
talks about it a lot, and his book, where is it? The title of his book is The Supernatural something,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he talks about how to get things that you want in life. And as you mentioned, it's your actions, it's your thoughts, it's your emotions,
Yeah,
and these three elements have to be
yeah, yeah.
in
Has to be
harmony.
together. I mean,
Yeah.
when I was doing my training in a Taj hotel back in India in Varanasi, we had a situation where I found a wallet, right? A tourist lost and found. So I have deposited in lost and found. So there was a rule: if you found something in the lost and found, you put your name. If the tourist or somebody doesn't come back to you in 6 to 7 months, then it goes to the person who found it,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
So one of my senior boss put their name on it. So my friends, they were saying that, okay, hey, come on, why you return and whatever. And I was like, no, that's not my part of the job, right? To
Mhm.
see what he or she is doing it. What I
Mhm.
have to do, I have done my part of it, right?
Right.
Then I had a similar situation came, life is in a circle. The,
Mhm.
is everybody is doing a tasting for you, right? So I was working in a Pizza Hut and I had a similar situation where I found a wallet, right? And it was a late night closing, 11:30, 12. I called the gentleman. I said, look, you forgot something, So that was my intuition to call him. And he was like, come on, midnight, what are you trying to do? I was like, I'm sorry, but if you remember, call me back. I'm in the Pizza Hut. And my colleagues and everybody was there that, okay, come on, take that cash and walk away.
Mm.
And, it reminds you the similar situation, which is a couple
Yes.
of years back happened, that
Yes.
there's no reward, nothing is there. Why are you going to do it? But
Mm.
for me, it's like, no, that's not my part of it, right? So I was like,
Mhm.
no, I need to return. And it happens that, it rewarded me so well and after a couple of days, when gentleman he came to pick up the wallet, and he was shocked. He asked me, "Do you know how much money inside? What is it?" I was like, "Come on, it belongs to you." So he just walked away. He just said thanks and walked away. He wrote a nice letter to Pizza Hut International, and I've been awarded for honesty. Came into the newspaper.
Oh, really?
It came in the newspaper, local newspaper, and it's overnight things has changed for me in that point of time. And
Mm.
from crew member to I've been, Princess of Brunei invited me, and I went there. They offered me a job, and I started working. And while I was with her, we opened an A&W restaurant, other restaurants, and we invited big celebrities like Shahrukh Khan, Hrithik
Oh,
Roshan,
you did?
yeah, then
Interesting. Look
Michael
how I.
Jackson, Janet Jackson, you know.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah,
You met these people?
yeah, we made them because I was a part of royal family. So I was there, I was working, so we had an interaction and opportunity to do that. So it happens.
Wow, this is so cool. But you are so right. Honesty
Yep.
is a virtue that works, stays with you for lifetime. Even if you're a business owner.
Yeah.
How honest are you with your day-to-day communication, with financials, with your clients, your partners, everything.
Everything.
And it does impact your business as well.
Yeah, 100%. People will come and join you when they feel that kind of trust. This
Mm.
business is all about trust. It's not about you selling a franchise and half of the information is not being provided,
Yes.
right? And
Mm.
those kind of scenario where franchise is like, okay, what now? I haven't got information, or I haven't got a support. I haven't got enough training. I haven't got marketing supports, and they left over. I mean, like they are just there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
important. It's
it
very, very
is.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually saw one of your posts which was about that you
Yeah.
know as a
Mm.
franchise owner, you sign the contract and then you disappear. That's not the way to go. How it
No.
impacts. and especially this industry, it's people centric. People
Yeah.
work with people, and
Mm.
you've got to be that person who's known
Yep.
to be there for them.
That's right.
I mean, I'm really not sure how a franchise brand can succeed if a franchisor is not available
Yeah.
for the franchisees. If there's a disconnect, it's
That's right.
doomed. It'll be doomed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a partnership, right? As a franchisor, you are a partner of 5% sales and they are 95% sales. So
Yeah.
if you are, you need to do your part of it as a business partner. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot just give a license and walk away and keep opening its stores
Mm-hmm.
and leaving it on individual to run.
Mm-hmm. I have this question, but I will come to it
Hmm.
later on. But still, I'll drop this in case I forget, please. The question is, which we'll come to later on, is I want to know what kind of strategy do you have in mind? Because I've spoken with a lot of franchise brand owners. Some of them, want to have, let's say, 100 franchisees working for them, and some, on the contrary, want to have 15, but want them to scale, you know
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
obviously, it's the latter that most of the times people want to, because
Yeah.
it's manageable, it's easier. But I would like to know your take and what you think about it. But before that,
Hmm.
and we also spoke about it briefly before we hit record, um, what is your thought about being an immigrant
Hmm.
and venturing into business? A lot of people have limiting beliefs about what an immigrant can do and cannot do. How is it for you? Because you've lived in so many countries.
I mean, I never personally thought of as a immigrant. I'm a citizen of the world. It's worlds are open, everybody welcoming you. They're not treating you as an alien. Might be in the paper in US is alien, but we are not. When I saw the first time application and say alien, oh come on, why alien? But but no, I never thought in that way. So this question was pretty tough for me to answer because I'm not immigrant. I'm part of the society, part of where I go. I have a friends, I have families, and I'm contributing to the local tax, and growth. So how I
Mm-hmm.
can be immigrants? I'm not. So
Mm-hmm.
from the day one, uh, within country as well, within India as well, I was traveling. So it's not gonna be, consider immigrants because in India, if you, it's a different culture. So
Mm,
each city has a different dialogue, different culture, different food habits, different
right,
clothing.
right.
So that doesn't let me think that I am a, like outsider. I'm
Yes.
always going to be an insider
Mm.
within the country. And the same attitude is on a bigger scale. So now
Mm-hmm.
the moment you come out from hometown to a state to the country, now it's like a different country. So just expanding
You are.
that.
You
So
are.
it's a different, the people, are different culture, different clothing, different food. That's it. So it happened within the country and outside the country. So I
100%.
never thought that way. I was always involved.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was in England, I was working for Leeds Airport, and a couple of my team members, my seniors, right? When I bought a house, I was talking to them. I said, "Hey," they said, "What happened? Why are you worried?" I said, "Labor cost is so expensive. I need to build a few. I have to do some work in my home, and it's so expensive." They said, "Oh no, don't worry. Get some food, get some beer, get all this organized, and I'll see you." And I told my wife that this is what they were saying. So she thought it just joke.
Mm-hmm.
And they walked in on Saturday morning. Everybody, all my managers, my senior managers with the tools and everything else. And we were shocked. And they start helping, cleaning and painting, fixing in the home. So how do
Mm.
I think that I'm an alien or I am immigrant. I was a part of it.
You were
I
proud.
never felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I never had that thought process that, okay, I'm a citizen for the world and everybody should be in that way.
I love this thought, and this reminds me of a concept. I actually wrote an article about it as well, deriving an idea from New York Times article, which
Mm,
was all about community.
mm,
And they said, It's not about your nationality, it's not about your religion or whatever.
Mm.
It's community. So
Community.
you tie yourself with the community, and
Mm.
community is not about religion, blah, blah, blah.
No,
It's
no,
about
no.
the shared vision, common beliefs, and
Mm.
values. So,
Yeah.
as you said, connect with like minded people. They will
Mm.
help you because they think of you as a part of the community rather than, oh, this is a French speaking country, so we are only
Yeah.
going to allow French people here. It's not that kind of a thought process.
No, I mean, when we went to Paris and we always stay, like we love traveling, road trips, driving, and we always found like me, my wife, my kids, we as a family, we take a car and drive to Paris. Okay, let's go. So and we always stay. We never stay in a hotel. We stay in Airbnb. We
Hmm.
stay with the people who is there, sharing their home, their kitchen. That's where, you get mingled. And I was the gentleman where I was staying, his house, they were so helpful. They told us where to go, what to do, and all of that kind of stuff. When we were in Germany, we stayed in a beautiful home, and they were so great. So I mean, we never thought in that that direction.
Yeah.
So I mean, think you don't eliminate. If you are five people are sitting somewhere in the airport, you go, you can buy a cup of coffee and sit in the corner, or you go and say like, "Hi guys, how you doing?" You know.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's just a matter of how and where. Like your flight is delayed, just go and sit and talk and
Mm-hmm.
meet people.
100%. Actually, you are one of those people that Airbnb will be proud of because that's what they wanted to people to get at. Don't be so closed, mingle with people, learn their
Yeah.
cultures, and
Mm.
it's gonna give you a better experience as
Yeah.
against, just being isolated and being on your own. 100%. Yeah, do you have something to say?
No, no, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
that's what we were doing with the Airbnb. It helps you uh, to cook one meal together there, or either sometime, most of the time when I was in Switzerland, my landlady, Airbnb lady, she was so kind that, you walk in and you have a dinner ready. I was like, wow,
Oh, that's so sweet.
that's so
That's
sweet,
that's very sweet.
That's a,
It's so much love in this world.
mm,
I wanted to pivot to this okay, in this direction now.
mm,
Kathi Roll.
mm,
So you came up with this idea
mm.
and you chose a particular cuisine, obviously because you're an Indian, but also tell me about and tell the audience about what is the fad for Indian food and what exactly is Kathi Roll.
Mhm.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I mean, I COVID hit, that was the time when all these Kathi Roll Wala started the process. And me and my wife, we were sitting and discussing, uh, do we have a job? What's going to happen? The restaurants are closing down.
Hmm.
We were all worried. And I was, like in America, you might get fired or laid off by text message or email, or they're going to walk in and say, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
came
true.
from England, and England, where we used to do a performance management. So we do care about the people and their life. So I remember my previous job, I was working and I supposed to fire a gentleman, and I was going through, it was tough for me to fire somebody. Why to fire, right? And then my president, he was watching me through the window. All right, what
Oh
is
my God.
happening? What is happening? And he walked in and said, guys, Pankaj, okay, Richie, thank you. It was great working with you. Thank you. You can pick up your final check and good luck. And the guy was like, I got fired. I was like, yo, go fired. And I was like, okay, can you do that? I said, yes, you can do that. And it was there in my brain that, okay, you don't really care about the people.
Hmm.
So I thought that could happen to me as well, right?
Yeah.
So we were thinking, and my wife was like, what to do? And we were trying to explore. I said, look, I know food. I'm in food industry for 25 years. Uh, I can do something in the food. And she was like, everything is closing down. The food has no future. And I was constantly reading and trying to understand and exploring. And came to know that okay, cloud kitchen is the new thing right now in the
Yes, it is.
market. So I explore. I found out okay, it's low investment. Let me start. So we started cloud kitchen in New Jersey, Bellevue. I used to work 9 to 5. In the evening, I used to go to Cloud Kitchen till 1:30. So it was an opportunity for me to understand what people like. So I had a 15 different brands, chicken wings, burger, Indian dhaba styles, all the
Oh,
different
wow.
branding. Like so much of making a social media, making a different menu. So from one kitchen, you can do so many a different cuisine
Mm,
because the customer doesn't know the food is coming from. And you
mm,
have a one cloud kitchen, we have a 45 kitchen inside. And just
mm,
imagine that this 45 kitchen or each has a 10 kitchen or 5 kitchen. How many
mhm,
new restaurant in that community? Then
mm,
later I realized that this model is not going to be sustainable because
mm,
initially the sales was amazing. So I
mm,
used to call every customer or send an email or text message, and used to ask, what did you like? What did you hate? How do you rate? And
mm.
from there I got that okay, these are the product which is doing well,
Right.
like chicken tikka, butter chicken. These are the top,
Mm,
selling. People like wraps, people like bowl. So
mm,
that was the whole idea. So I had a different concept for the bowl. I have the different concept. So I picked up the menu and built a small, tiny menu. And
mhm.
after 6 months, I can see the cloud kitchen sales drop by 50%
Right.
because the COVID will start fading. People will start going out, eating out, so that thought this is gone. This is a bubble, it's gonna burst anytime. And
Right.
then one of the customer, when I was talking to him, he used to order almost every second day. And he called me. He came to a restaurant. So he said, "Hey, where is your restaurant?" I was like, "Oh no, this is not the restaurant. This is a cloud kitchen." He said, "The food what you're serving, it's not deserved to be here. It has to be in the restaurant. You need to open
Mm,
a restaurant." He
mhm,
came. I sat down with him and I spoke. And I was like, "Oh, I don't have funding. I don't have that much money." And he was like, "No, don't worry. Let me figure out." And then after 2, 3 days, he reached out to me and said, "Look, there's a construction going on in Wilmington, which is 1.5 hour from us." So I was
mhm,
like, "Okay," and they are building a food hall, and I think I want you to be there.
mm,
So he connected me. I went there and did my food tasting, met them. They saw everything. They liked it. They said, "Okay, I'm going to give you the space, no investment, and we'll figure out." So they help me. So basically, they're going to take percentage from the sales, and
mhm,
so that
mhm.
will recover their investment side. I don't have to do
Right.
any investment. And I
Right.
was like,
Right.
okay, great. So I started one. People like it. It start moving, right? So the now customer used to walk in and said, "Hey, this is healthy. This is great." And then I slowly, it's become like a healthier concept because I realized that people like healthy and tasty food. They
Mm,
don't want to have a healthy and which they are struggling to eat. They want to enjoy the food, but they want a healthy food. And
right.
that's the gap which I felt like, okay, I need to be in. Because sometimes when you go to Indian restaurant, you buy a curry sauce, your oil floating on the top,
It's not very feasible to eat.
No. So people like the Indian food, but they don't want to see that
And
side
they
of
eat
it.
with fork and knife.
Yeah, with the fork and knife. So we were like, okay, this is great. So I'm slowly, gradually, as I was getting a feedback from the customer, I was making changes in the menu, and I was like, okay, this is the way to do it. So Kathi roll basically mostly wrapped with a paratha. I'm gonna go into a roti. Roti is healthier. Paratha
Mm,
has a lot of wheat, oil, flour, and all of that kind of stuff, and it's become like, okay, this is much healthier option. People liking it. That's
mm,
great. Rice bowl with the same. Now, when we start making a tikka sauce, we said, okay, I used to be like, French cooking, sous vide and all that. So I thought, okay, I'm going to utilize that cooking method and make the sauce. No
mm,
oil. So I put zero oil, cook in the water. And it worked. People taste it. We did a lot of blind tasting. So that's the whole idea that slowly, gradually, we have gone into a healthy food, no oil, less sugar, less salt, and I want a tasty and flavorful food. Then the same management opened a second location in Houston and they gave me a space. They said, "No, you have to come." and then we went there. That was a 4 hours flight for me from New Jersey. So I had no choice, but from the first job, when I was started working, I had that envision that I'm going to have my own company. So I was writing manuals and doing all of that, building SOPs, and that was there. So I have built so much in 20 years that, I mean, I have an entire that book shelves and for, books everywhere. I keep buying and reading. That's the only way you can educate yourself and grow yourself. So I got everything ready and I was like, okay, now I have SOPs, I have standards, I have everything else. And now people are working, they are not qualified, they are not safe. So I
Mm-hmm.
hire Nicholas, he was from Mexico. His reviews are 4.6, 4.7. I was like, wow. I said, Nico, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just following your standards. That's it. And I was like, okay, this works. And that's where he started that idea of franchising. So I had a Preeti in a Wilmington. She was like, Pankaj, can I take this as a franchisee? And she's 23 years old. And I was like, okay. We were very skeptical. We were like, no, yeah, I can't take your money, investment. And if you don't make money, I mean, I can't. So we were thinking about it. Then she insisting. So I said, okay, do one thing. Give me 50% now. Slowly you pay every month when you earn. The
Yeah.
moment you realize that, okay, this is not for me, I did a wrong decision,
Mm.
tell me, pull it back, and I'm happy to take it back. Right?
Wow.
So that way, see, and I saw that after a year, she recovered her money, she paid my money, she's making money, she's giving employment to the friends and family. I was like, wow. Then Nicholas came and said, can I take as a franchise? So my two locations gone as a franchisee. People has taken who was working in the system for last 1.5, 2 years. So that gave me a confidence because you're
Mm.
not selling to somebody and you're not trying to sell. That was not the idea that, okay, glorify and you're selling
Yeah.
somebody something. So it's a people are in the system, they know in and out, they understand,
Wow.
they know me, they know the product, they know the process, and now they want to take franchisee. I was like, awesome. So that's where the journey of franchising is started. Then,
This is Pankaj, like literally while you were saying, I took mental notes of four things that are
mm,
extremely important for people to know. The first thing that I took note of was seller financing.
mm,
So I think many people are not aware of that. That
yeah,
they have this limited belief. I need to have funding. I need to have an investor. But
yeah,
what you did was exactly seller financing,
yeah,
and there are people who are willing to do that. Again, you need to have that kind of a personality for somebody to like you because there's no particular math per se to be able
no,
to get
no,
that.
yeah,
It's negotiation skills, people's likability towards you, luck, of course, but it exists. So
yes,
I really wanted to do, and you did the same for the girl that you helped.
yeah,
So I think that's a wonderful point made by you. The second thing I want people to know is look, today you arrived at this point. After testing so many recipes, you really did a product market fit.
yeah,
Literally, you did a product market fit, which is so important for people, be it any industry, because if you
yep,
are just serving something that people don't want, it's bound to fail.
yeah,
So I genuinely love that point. The third one is selling.
yeah,
If you have a pure conviction that what you have to offer is going to help someone, you don't think like you're a seller. You're not selling, you're helping.
hmm, yeah.
So you're not coming from that place. So I think these are solid points that are golden nuggets for people to understand. Uh,
Absolutely. I mean, very early, my previous job where I was working, my boss, he was from marketing background, and when we were recruiting, his thought process was like, recruiting a skill. I'm recruiting somebody, can I work with, or can that person work with me?
mhm.
Right? So prior to that, when you work in a corporate, you're looking for a skill that, okay, can, this person can perform and do the job. But you're not looking at, can you sit with that guy and have a cup of coffee and some kind of conversation and, life is not about just work.
It's
Yeah,
not.
so that's the element which I picked up from there. And even though he was a great boss, and these are like his passion for a quality of product. That was these two things I picked up from him. So it's amazing. I
It's
know if you're passionate about the product, always product is when you think about like my mom cooking food. Everybody says my mom's food is great.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is great because it's cooked from the heart, right?
Yeah, I
So
agree
it's
very
it's
much.
not it's not about the recipe. It's not about
It's not.
anything else. It's all about that. The moment you're sitting the dining table, your mom will start making bread, Indian flatbread, roti, and she will quickly cut something and make it. Is there's no standard recipes.
There's no.
Whatever she finds, she just drop it in, maybe turmeric, maybe salt, and that's it. And it still tastes great
Still tastes great.
because it's freshly made, and it's the right heart that you're trying to serve. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
theory for Kathi Roll Wala.
It certainly
Fresh.
is. It is. I can, even if I haven't tasted it, I can tell you because, I'm also an international individual living in another country,
Yeah.
and we crave for Indian food. Like not
Hmm.
just Indian, but any international person craves for their food. But with Indian food specifically, whenever you order, I will tell you 9 out of 10 times I'm disappointed.
Hmm.
And I'm disappointed because it's oily.
Hmm.
um, as you said, it's hard to take your international friends along sometimes
Hmm.
because it's a bit messier, so you can't really have it easily. Like if I crave for Indian food, I can't have it for lunch if I'm
Yeah.
at the office. Um, things like that, and then
Yeah.
obviously the quality. So I'm glad that you are also trying to bring the health aspect
Yeah.
to Indian food because most of the foreigners out there think it's heavy.
Yeah.
They compare it with Italian, pizza.
Hmm.
Like it's
Hmm.
like heavy food. So
Heavy
I love
food.
that you've tried to, find a niche uh, that would actually be interesting for people.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was like in Orlando when I was sitting and talking to another gentleman, and he was like, after conversation, he said, Pankaj, you're trying something which is very difficult. Indian food in a healthier bracket, it's very, very difficult. But I was surprised when I was there for a week. I can see that he came twice, thrice. So a third time when I saw him, I was like, hey, nice to see you. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's healthy, so I can eat more. So, and I was like, that's what I'm trying to. Maybe my customers are not those people who wants to have those chili and spices and oil and heavier side of it, who doesn't understand the health side of it. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I might be my clientels are like you, who gonna
Yeah,
come, who gonna enjoy it, healthier food, and it's
love that.
tastier Indian product.
Love that. Whenever I'm speaking to an entrepreneur, I always try
Hmm.
to grasp what are the things that make their business so successful. And while
Mhm.
I'm speaking with you, I think, of course, you found a good niche. You tested the product market fit. But I think that while you were speaking, that I thought of was reoccurring clients
Yeah.
and how do you retain them? And
Hmm.
with Indian food, of course, taste is a factor. But if it's healthy, you retain them. They will want to
Retain
have
them.
more.
Yeah. Hmm.
Otherwise, the same client, he would say, "Oh, this food is great. I love
Hmm.
it." But it's
Hmm.
so heavy that
Hmm.
rather have it once a month.
Yep.
But because it's healthy, you tend to get those people coming back
Yep.
to your business from time
Hmm.
to time. So that's a smart move, definitely. I love that. And documentation was another thing forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Um, Good that you document because I think this is a best practice in the franchising space.
100%. I mean, before I jump on the franchising, what we have done with my experience, right, with interacting with a lot of franchisee and franchisor, because the franchisor become busier, expanding, opening stores, the marketing, medias, and all those kind of stuff. They forget about the sign agreement and how you're not providing enough tools to the person to succeed. And
Right.
that's where, for me, I wanted to have a backend portal where people can basically log in as a franchisee. So the moment you become a my franchisee, you're gonna get the backend login
Okay.
where it helps you guide you through how to open your restaurant
Mm.
from scratch, to 21 points step by step.
Oh,
There are
nice.
certain job which is done by you, certain job is done by us. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to us, we will get, allocated in terms of marketing team or product managers
Mm-hmm.
or me or somebody
Mm-hmm.
else. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a two-way of collaboration. You are building your restaurant. So once you build a restaurant, you have all those, documentation done and saved all your business license and documentation agreements, everything gonna be on one portal. So you don't forget that, okay, next year is gonna be renewal or monthly renewal. So most of the time I see franchisee that, okay, they forgot to renew the business license. The business license letter came and staff has put somewhere else. They couldn't find.
Mm-hmm.
Health inspector walk in, oh, you're expired. You cannot run the business. I was like, what? And all of that is happening. So we created that portal where you have all those documentation, everything is there. So that reminds you a month before what to do. That has all your document in one place. So you as a franchisee can log in and see what is the documentation status. Supposed to be somebody walked into your restaurant, they cannot find the document, is copy is there, which you can immediately send to the health inspector or to your restaurant manager. So you are all the documentation, the management side. Then you have all the sales analyticals. So a lot of POS company when you're working with, they have their own format. Now
Right.
you take the data and you have to change for your business. They're not going to customize you because you're not 100 locations. So, initially you have to work with Excel sheet. Now
Mm-hmm.
here, what happened in the backend portal, it tracks all the reports from the POS and it gives you an analytical reporting that okay, what is happening in your store and what's your focus supposed to be. We are trying to inbuild AI which can see the weekly report and marketing and advise you that okay, this is what you have to do to hit your target. So if your target of the week is 15 $20,000 and you are 2,000 behind, it will tell you what to do to achieve your goal, right? Then you have employee management. So entire employee management gonna be on the backend portal. Their recruitment, their documentations, everything is there. Then we have employee training portal where it gives you access to each employee so they can log in and they can go through from introduction to hand wash to cooking, everything. As they are doing training, you will able to see as a franchisee that they have completed 40%, 50%. They know basics. So it helps you that if you are busy, to at least you have something in the back end is happening. Hand wash, using gloves. These are the basic fundamental, how to clean the grill. If the person gets stuck, they can go back and check how
Right.
to do it, right? And then you have a social media backend portal, which
Mm-hmm.
everything combined one place. You're gonna reply the customer review, inquiries, posting, what is going on, all gonna be there. Then you have a food cost, the supply chain, vendor, everything is in one login. So you don't have to go for five different login, username and password. Everything is together. It tells you entire monthly P&L that okay, how your business is doing, right? And where you can act and save some money or how you're going to increase the sales. So it was the major time and investment is
I
gone to
bet it
build
is.
that.
I bet it is. This is exactly why I like to have conversations with people
Hmm.
like you, because first of all, thank you for explaining it so well, and it's connected to documentation,
Yeah.
setting up systems and processes in place. Because we're talking about scaling here. Like, a lot
Hmm.
of people would open a restaurant and think opening a restaurant is all about just opening one. That's
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
There is so much going on in the back end.
Yeah.
And what you explained to me is literally onboarding. How
Yeah.
do you onboard them? A lot of people don't even know how to onboard one. They think
That's right.
contracts signed,
Mm.
information given from here and there. You, through this documentation, you are allowing not just yourself, but also your partners or franchisees to work on the business, not in the business.
In the business.
I
Yeah.
think this is something that people should understand and try to implement more and more
Yeah.
in their business. Surely must have taken a lot of time, but now you have a solid system in
Base.
place,
Hmm.
which is logical and allows you to make informed decisions as against, guessing.
Yeah. No, that was important for before scaling. We wanted all of these small pieces to be, in build and have ready before we scale it. Because
Right.
I've seen a lot of franchisor, they are busy scaling it, but they haven't built. The moment you reach to 10 to 15 stores, then you don't have time to go back and build. It's too late.
It's too
you
late.
know yeah,
Hmm. I agree.
you have that point of time, you realize it, that okay, I need it, but it's you don't have that kind of energy and time to go back and bringing all these 15 franchisee on the
Hmm.
changes are very, very difficult.
Yeah, very
So
right. And I think also think about it. If this person has already scaled now without having
mm,
those systems in place, how hard it would be to get your
yeah.
previous franchisees to get used to it now, but because
mm,
they will resist the change. It has been like that for
yeah.
so many years, and now all of a
mm,
sudden you're trying to bring that kind of a management style.
yeah.
That could also be a hindrance, and which brings me to this point, which is you start as a restaurant owner, but your case is a little different. You had franchising in mind even before
Yes.
starting. But what's your take on that? Because a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck with the idea of being of thinking I'm a restaurant owner as against I'm a franchisor now. My role changes,
hmm
the way I think changes.
mm.
What's your take on that?
I would say that a lot of people, what happened in that scenario, like as a restaurant owner, I'm sitting in my restaurant, I'm running that business day in, day out. I know everything, everything is there in my head, right? Vendor came, I know what he's delivering it, what is the price, what is market price, and I can negotiate and I can do it. It's a one man show which you are
Mm.
managing it, and you
Right.
don't realize that how complex job which you are doing it by yourself, because a restaurant is not just the place to serve food. It's just imagine that okay, 500 square feet or 1,000 square feet space, and what happened from morning to night in that place, right? You're gonna imagine that pest control guy gonna walk in, hood cleaning guy gonna walk in, you
Mm.
have a vendors are walking, drink vendor is walking, health inspector is walking, fire department gonna walk in,
Mm.
employee gonna come, cleaning team comes. So
Right.
many people are coming in
Mm.
just to service one, which is a customer, in the
Right.
safe and food safety environment. So if you do not know that how to handle that, you're running a business now, fire department walks in, you if you don't know what to do, where is those documentations, or what do I tell him, or what to how my
Mm.
conversation gonna be, what he's asking for, or health inspector walks in, or the trade guys are walking in, fair trade, that your menu price is different, you're selling on the different. So a lot of small factors are involved.
Right.
Delivery guys are walking in, is it the Uber guy or DoorDash guy, how you gonna manage? All of that has to be managed. But while you are operating your store, you are doing it without knowing it, because you have started from the scratch. Now
Mm.
you did it. The moment you become a franchisor, now how you gonna replicate yourself? Then you start looking for people who is like you and you
Mm.
function like you. You
Mm.
never gonna find it. So you need to change your role, and you
Mm.
start preparing that okay,
Mm. Mm.
without me being there, what could be the process is
Mm.
in place which can help that
Mhm.
store owner or restaurant manager or somebody to operate the restaurant. Why
Mhm.
people are going for a franchise? Idea behind going into the franchise is two scenario. One, that if you start from scratch, it's going to take 3 to 4 years, right? So the 4 years of your salary, if you're working in the corporate, that's your investment
Right.
into the business. Plus you're starting from the scratch, so you do not know what gonna work, what not gonna work, what
Mm.
could be the recipe. So what I
Mm.
have done for first year, the product tasting, which is most of the people, they don't do it. They
Mm.
start from that, okay, I'm selling supposed to be chicken wings or dosa or any of the product. They already preconceived that, okay, this is what I'm gonna sell, and I need to find a market where I can sell, right?
Right.
That's how their theory is gonna work. So I know how to make dosas. I'm gonna go to the place where you have South Indian crowd who gonna walk in and they're gonna pay so much money, and that's how theory works. So if you haven't done the product tasting in the mass areas, so you
Right.
don't know what's gonna work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you do not have a documentation and process in place. So franchising, what happened that you saving those 4 years, you saving that, the product fit, markets, all that kind of research, and you start from the day one where you can be profitable or either way break even. So you're not losing the money, you're not losing the time. You do not require that kind of skill what that person who has started, right? You don't need Pankaj to open a restaurant. You just need yourself and some couple of employees, and you're ready to go. And
Right.
you are as good as I'm gonna open a restaurant my own, or you opening a restaurant without spending a time. I've spent so much of time and energy into the restaurant, reading the books and experimenting and all that kind of stuff, which you saved straight away. You become like a plug and play. That's it, and is ready to go. So if somebody is not ready to put that much of time and effort and understanding, then for them is great. You take the franchise and
Mm-hmm.
run it. But if you're passionate that I'm gonna go to the fire department, I'm gonna go to the building department, I'm gonna go all of that, I'm gonna do it myself for 4 years, and I will build. You should,
That's all. Yeah,
that's a different
that's
altogether.
yeah, yeah. I think you very well explained, uh, franchising is a game to play for us,
Mm,
for people who have a specific need, which you explained very well, which is
mm.
how do you get into the fast lane?
Yep.
But again, a lot of brands do not offer the fast lane, really. It's
Yeah.
like a myth that this is a fast lane, but as you said, there's no documentation, there's no systems in place, so they keep
Mhm.
figuring it out themselves and they're doomed. And then the franchisor brand owner says, that was not the right fit. I
Yep.
think you're the first one who's mentioning this angle to me. It's not always about that person has to be like me in an ideal scenario, sure, but it's more about how can I have everything ready for this person,
Yeah.
have systems in place so no, yes, that impacts, but still, to a great extent, I'll be able to control the variables of them failing because I have now set up steps that have obviously, you know that they work.
Yes. Some of the scenario, what happen if the franchisee walks in and they don't follow your process and system because they think that they know better, and that's where our challenges of
Oh,
recruiting a
yeah.
right right franchisee. I mean, I would suggest and I will tell everybody that okay, if you know better, you do it yourself. Don't take the franchise
Why don't you
agreement and
start your own?
yeah,
I
or
think
you
you mentioned it. Yeah, you mentioned it in our previous call, and it was funny, some of them telling you, uh, how about
yeah.
we add some samosa to the to the to
Yeah,
the mix?
they don't realize it. They don't understand the challenges. We are into the fast food industry, fast casual Indian. You need to have a speed of service. It's very easy to say, oh, let's add this or let's add that, let's do this. It's not that I can't add it. I can add another 100 items, right? It's not a big deal.
Yeah, yeah,
But execution, right, and
it
speed of
is.
service, that's very
Um,
important.
ve- Very true, and that's the main thing they need to understand if they're getting in this industry, which
Yeah.
is do the math. I invited the owner of Bagel Stein, so it's a
Mhm.
it's a bagel chain across Europe and now in India as well.
Mhm.
And he said his people in his kitchen are engineers.
Yeah.
They are engineers. If there is a recipe that they come up with that's not going to bring in profit, he's not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
But somebody might say, oh, so you're a profitability driven person. Yes, I am. That's business.
That's the
But I'm also
business.
giving you an excellent service. So it's
Yeah.
where excellent service
Mm.
matches profitability, and it is. And I remember you mentioned something about your recipes and how you
Hmm.
try to control the variables.
Yeah.
What about that?
Indian food, it's very complex, right? So when you are cooking, I mean, India is such a big country. In the same dish, if you go in a different part of India, there's a different way of cooking. So
Right.
every time when somebody comes in, if the person is from Andhra, person from Punjab, person, so they have a different ideas that okay, hey, this is can be done. As I mean, I have to explain to him when he says is the Punjabi chole pinde, right? He doesn't say so. It doesn't say the Andhra style. I mean, like we are
That's too
not,
much.
we are not doing it, and we have to make them understand. And our recipes are pretty standard. We have spices, so we have a spice mix which we have developed, and it's supposed to be chicken marination. So we want my franchisee to buy everything locally. We are not gonna sip anything to idea behind that. Okay, keeping everything local,
Mm,
fresh, and
mm,
we are not trying to sip something which double dipping, like I'm gonna make money from the product as well. That's
mm,
not the idea behind. Like a lot of other, if you see like what happened with Subway or any other brand, where they force them to buy a product from certain vendor, and they are taking the money from that vendor. So a
right.
lot of franchisor think that okay, it's a money making platform where you can make money from here, from there.
Yeah.
That doesn't work,
Mm,
right? It's
mm,
something which a platform where you're gonna help people who like to be one of us as a business owner, and they want to grow. They
yeah.
want to build a legacy. They want to build a lifestyle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
100%.
not. So it's my recipes are pretty standard. We cook very, very, very simple method. We use oven, putting everything in together, put it in a oven for 2 hours, 3 hours, slow cooking method. So we
Love it.
work in a way that okay, that doesn't have to be a standing and okay, putting in oil, sautéing, then putting a chili and sautéing, then ginger, garlic and salt. It's that process we don't use at all. Our process is very simple. We build a kit. The kits are ready. You have onion, tomatoes, everything with the spices. One portion, 3 pound, you're gonna build. The moment you need it, you take it out, dump it in, put it in the oven, press the button, and that's it. Forget about it for 3 hours. You come back after 3 hours, it's almost ready. Blend it, mix it. So all
Love it.
our process is like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which otherwise they will not do it.
Yeah.
Right? So then franchisee, if the moment you become complex, then nobody does it. They always like to do something which is easy, simple way of doing it. Then they will do it and they'll say, hey, look, I did it. The moment it's become a complex, they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Very
Then they
true.
will start, they're cooking for like when you go to Indian restaurant or anywhere, I've seen like people cook for 7 days, big bulk, freeze it. And I was
Mhm.
like, God, why to do it, when you can do it like this?
You can do it. Yeah, I agree, and it's very hard, and it's science. When you're trying to make a perfect, healthy, should be
Hmm.
fresh, at the same time easy. You control the variables. There is clearly a lot of hard work
Yeah.
behind where you are today, and
Lot
that's
of
why I really
tasting,
wanted to have this
lot of tasting. My friends and everybody got fed up of doing
product
product
tasting.
testing. All right. I used to when my nature was then I was running a cloud kitchen and whenever I changing any recipes, so when a regular customer they order a regular food, I will put it together a small portions and I will explain and say, can you text me or call me if you can? Let me know what you think.
Yeah.
So
Wow,
that
wow. I love that. While you're speaking with me, it reminds me of this documentary that I watched. I love doing that.
hmm.
So I watched this documentary on Pizza Hut. No, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Hmm.
Domino's.
Ah, okay.
Lovely story. I mean, how did Domino's get to where it is today? And it was about two brothers,
Yeah.
deciding to, again, seller financing is how they got into it because they were both broke. And how this guy, one of the brothers who's the one who took the main charge, he used to go to all pizzerias, would taste their tomato sauce,
Mm-hmm.
would think which would be the best combination for mine. He would
Yeah.
do so much tasting across all pizzerias, and even when he had, so people started liking Domino's,
Hmm.
um, and then he decided to keep one size because
Hmm.
previously there were many sizes. So he
Hmm.
decided, I see, again, there was, data there. I see that majority of the people are taking this particular size. Let's
Mm-hmm.
go with this one because as we start to scale, we wouldn't have to bother ourselves having three sizes of the boxes.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Mm.
see, it's this too much math. This it's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
profitability. And
Mm.
then he said, okay, within the box itself, let's see how we can make the box lighter.
Mm.
What could be the how can we make the box lighter? Nobody's doing that today. Domino's was the one who came up with the idea of delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And so he also thought about how can we make the box in a way that it doesn't get soggy.
Yeah,
There were so many things that he thought of.
yeah.
And today Domino's is where it is because
100%.
of so much science behind
Mm-hmm.
him testing
Mm-hmm.
and trying out things. So it is
100%.
definitely
Yeah.
about unit economics.
It is. It is. We always conflict. We don't have that much of a space of a storage. So how are we gonna make things easy, simple?
Mhm.
Multi cross utilizations. So that's the thought process. You can't have even the disposable one container for one different dishes, right? It has to be as simple.
Definitely. I would
Mm.
like to have like these two final questions. One is about, so I got to know that you're also a consultant. You have a consultant
Yes.
house.
Yeah.
So you are helping people with finding the right franchise for them?
That's right. Yes. The idea behind inspiring business owners, right? That's the whole idea that somebody like to be a business owner, they are inspiring and they don't have $1 million.
Mm,
And I need to help them because to become a business owner, you don't need $1 million. You need a passion. $1 million doesn't make you get up 5 o'clock in the morning or late night, to work or doing two jobs or doing multiple things at the same time
you
is
won't last.
require passion and dedication, not the
Yeah.
money. I look into if somebody is passionate and figure out how do I help,
Hmm.
right? And then uh, when I was doing my business as a franchising, then I realized that okay, when you go to the market, for me is always need to know. I need to know, right? I cannot rely on somebody and said, you do it because it's your job.
Hmm.
Even I know, I need to know, and then I can give you a job. That, okay,
Right.
you do it, and wherever, if I need to help you or guide you, I'll guide you, right? They become yours. But if I don't know, how do I hire somebody to do it, right? It's always a challenge. So what I did, I started learning about the franchising certifications. So I went to the Palm Beach, did a boot camp, then I start doing consulting, figure out that IAPG is doing a course. Okay, I spoke to them. It took time for me, but that helped me to understand because if I need to take my brand and franchise it, I need to know the rule and regulation. I need to know the community. I need to know the
Love
lawyer.
it.
I need to know every all. All
Mhm.
these are tools you require. Otherwise, what's going to happen as a franchisor? You are waiting for somebody, you're reaching out to somebody. You don't know how much they're going to charge you, what
I
support they're
love
going to
that.
give you. Maybe you get the 10% of the support with the rest of the 90%. What's going to happen? So what I did, I gone into that entire training. I understand about the franchising. I became a consultant. Now I have access to 600 brands. I can call, pick up, talk to them. I help them to sell. If somebody comes to me and say, oh no, I don't want to do restaurant, no problem. Come on, I'm going to help you out. What do you like to do? Laundromat? Passion? Whatever you
Love it, love
have.
it, love it. I
So
just
you
love
want to open this school? I'm gonna help you to get there.
it. Uh-huh.
So it helping me into my business because now I have a strong, solid background, informations. You need informations,
You do.
right? I build my team who is reaching out people and selling the franchise, whatever they like. And along with that, I'm selling mine too.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody is there who doesn't have money, I can help. I
Mm-hmm.
can identify those locations or picking up those locations for my own brand. Or somebody said, oh, I don't have that funding. I can have 50,000. Can I open a school or online courses or cleaning company? I help them. I just start looking into their finance and where and what can fit in. So it's really, I think it was a very good decision from
It,
my end, which
yeah.
helping me.
It is, and I see two patterns. Again, you're kind of doing the product market fit. Here, it's more like you are trying to not product market, yeah, kind of, but
Kind of.
with the
Mm,
perspective of franchising. You're
mm,
kind trying to see how people respond to this.
yeah,
Also, seeing what kind of people are fit for
yeah.
your business. It's not just
Mm,
selling, but are they fit for you?
yes.
And the second thing I see, you are still practicing that collective exchange
Yeah,
practice, which is you have your set of network.
yeah,
If it's not good for me, I'll pass it to somebody else. Somebody else
yeah,
will pass it to me. So I
yeah.
think it's a great way of building a nice referral strategy.
That's right. Referral works in this industry,
It
right? And
does.
people, a lot of vulnerable people, they have no clue. They want to start a business,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of people who is doing too much of research, so they never open the business. They are always in research mode, right? And some people, they got the money and they want to open and they jumped.
Right.
So for those kind of people also, we help them. We don't charge money to anybody. It's like
Yeah.
free consultation.
Yes.
Book a call and I will help you through all those options, what you have. If fits in, great. I'm happy to help.
And if it's not, it's not. No, that's
Yeah.
the way to go. And
Hmm.
you're right, very right about referral, because I think I saw Steven.
Mm-hmm.
He's the founder of Razy Brands,
Hmm.
such a known brand in the US, and he actually had a post which spoke about where do we get the top franchisees from.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was, I think, referral was the second one
Hmm.
in terms of how do you get the leads and quality leads,
Yeah.
qualified ones, not just
Qualified one, not you get 100 leads and
yeah,
nobody.
family referrals and referrals. So it's interesting. And yes, leverage referrals. I mean, we're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
humans and we shouldn't forget it. Paid ads would come into the picture, organic marketing, blah, blah, but nothing better than word of mouth.
100%. That helps big time. I know you have to, as a franchisor, you have to do everything,
Right.
right? It's just, I look at uh, every project, I look at like, okay, chicken tikka masala. When you're making it, you need everything. It could be a pinch of salt and 2 ounce of spices and 10 ounce of onion, but you need everything in that to make it a good, proper
Yeah.
food, right? So I take it in the same theory every project that, okay, yes, you're doing it. You cannot be doing only referral, or you cannot be doing only
You can't.
paid, or you
You
cannot be
can't.
doing it, right? So
Very
you
well said.
put everything together and you build it.
Very, very well
And
said. To put it this way, you can't put all your eggs in the same
in the
basket.
same basket now.
It's like, actually, this is a quote from Barbara, the one from Shark
Mm,
Tank, and she
yeah,
said, "Expand your online real estate."
yeah,
I loved it. I love this coach. Expand your online real estate. If
yeah.
tomorrow, like TikTok ban, imagine the owners that were relying solely on TikTok. I mean, it didn't get, but what if it
Yeah.
did? What
Yeah.
would you do?
Hmm.
Expand your real estate
Yeah.
portfolio online, and I think it works like a charm.
It does, from everywhere, little from everywhere, fill your bucket.
Yeah. So, on an ending note, and I think this is a perfect transition, you showed me your book actually.
I
So,
know.
give a glimpse of the book, which is The Road to Entrepreneurship Starts with Why. So,
Yeah.
can you give a few words on what is this book about?
It's a book about why everybody has to have their why, right? Everybody needs why should I start a business or become a business owner, right? And we are seven, eight of co-authors comes together and put their own story. Tony Harris has combined, you know, brought everybody together and we wrote. And my why was their why too. The idea, what I have started that, okay, it has to be that helping people who doesn't have that kind of money. Because when I was going through in that phase to start, and I had no money, and I wanted somebody could have guided me or told me, then I could not have taken this 20 years of journey. I could
Hmm.
have started earlier. Now,
100%.
because I have to do everything myself, learning and unlearning and, research, uh, solo on me, so it took longer. But the idea behind, I would like the next generation young people, they don't have to, right? They don't have to go through a grinding what I have done, but yes, we can help
Mm.
them to expedite and, you know, have a great life as a franchisee.
Wow, you're all about giving people a fast lane.
Yeah.
I I think that that could be your tagline. So I love that. As you said, do share the link of the book with me.
I will definitely.
And
Mm.
I love that. I mean, anybody watching it, I think you have the golden nuggets. We've tried to say them after Pankaj, explained the
Mhm.
story. So do catch them, save them somewhere, and think about your why. So
Definitely, yes.
thanks a lot, Pankaj,
Thank you very much. It
for the video.
was pleasure.
Have a lot of success with Kathi Roll, and I hope to see it someday in Paris.
Yeah, definitely. Paris will be. I love to have it there because that's a fit market fit for 100%.
Yeah, so that's the goal, that's the
Yeah.
milestone. Cheers, Pankaj.
Yes. Take care.